know you have rejoined us again on the program Good Morning Abuja, and it is showing only on the Unity Station NTA Channel 5. We have a guest with us in the studio and want to talk about humanitarian interventions. You know, the joy to which you have when you give back to the society can be so fulfilling. And this morning we want to talk about inmate rehabilitation. Their foundation has gone all out to rehabilitate these people that the society has tagged hopeless. Yes, there is nobody that is hopeless. There is a gift that God Almighty has given every one of us. When we identify our gift and we put it to use, we will be fine for it. This morning, help me welcome a humanitarian who is also a director of programs, Shami's Unusual Heart Foundation. He is Shadrach Oka. Shadrach, you're welcome to the
Thank
program.
you very much, madam, for having me
Good to
today.
see you this morning.
Thank you, the pleasure is
Yes,
mine.
humanitarian intervention. You know, when we talk about inmate rehabilitation, I'm like, why did you decide to go into rehabilitating these people?
Thank you very much, madam, for that question. We have that almost always in all of our outings.
Okay.
For us at Shami's Unusual Heart Foundation, there are two principal reasons why we went into rehabilitation of inmates and the returning citizens, as we refer to them as convicts. One of the reasons is personal to the executive director and founder of the foundation, Dr. Ambassador Sarah Abdul. It's a personal experience she had growing up as a teenager. First, the older brother was wrongly accused of stealing an item and was detained for that. And after a few days, they discovered he was not guilty of the offense. So as a teenager growing up, she felt if this had happened, it means it is not everybody in the prison confines that are guilty of the crime. The second reason is that statistically from the National Correctional Center, we have over 84,000 inmates. About 57,222 are awaiting trials. Some, by experience, some of them await trial between 5 to 12 years. What do you do when 10 years is taken out of your life or the crime you never committed? Hopeless and abandoned. Your dream is cut short. So we felt by intervening, giving hope to such people, and carrying out activities that inspires hope so that by the time they leave the prison confine or correctional service, they'll be better used in the society. So that's the major
Very
reason.
good job you're doing. Now, how you've been meeting with these people one on one, how do you further equip them emotionally? Because there is a tag on them by the society.
Very well.
How do you equip them to be emotionally fit to face the world again?
Well, as part of the activities, we are not in this alone. Most NGOs that carried out activities or foundation to these correctional centers are gifted in various areas. Some of us do intervention on the physical aspect. We train them, equip them in terms of skills and talent. Other people are good with the psychological therapy. So what we do, we partner with other sister agencies that ensure these people, their orientation in terms of their mindset to prepare them before they come out. For us, it's not just about equipping them or giving them skits or startup skits after they have been trained. We also help them to undergo this therapy by some institutions that are gifted in these areas to take care of their emotional well-being by the time they exit from the correctional service centers.
Okay. Now, the next question is what area specifically do you go all out to equip these people?
Very well. For instance, there are some of them who their passion is to go to school.
Okay.
What we do, the correctional center, we bless God for the great work the CG is doing, Haliru Nababa, especially in education. They partner with the National Open University. So, like I said, I have on record some of them who started taking lectures, they write WAEC, they pass, write JAM, they pass, have their first degree, have their master's degree. One is even doing his PhD and is a lecturer today. So that is one area. Other people have been trained in barbing, soap making, and other facilities. In fact, currently today, I think they'll be commissioning the shoe factory at Aba in the Aba division of the correctional service. So these are areas where we identify with them. We are able, when we raise funds, to be able to deploy them in those areas to train them, both while they are in the prison or in the correctional centers, and those who have exited. We also organize them and continue in the process of training.
Okay, talking about continuity in the process of training, how do you get to supervise these people to ensure they are in line with the training you're giving
Okay,
them?
fine. Our foundation, actually, we don't deal with condemned prisoners. It's just people with minor offenses. Because by record, sometimes people go to prison for as menial as 20,000 naira. They are there. Some steal generators, some steal fans. And in fact, there was a particular example of somebody who came to Abuja, Suleja to be precise, for greener pasture, a driver. The very first trip he went, the way bill he took was fish that somebody wants to use for a party. The vehicle got spoiled for 2 days and the fish rotting. And before you know, he was already sentenced to prison. We got in there after he had spent over 7 months. We were able to pick that person out, pay the fine, settle all of those bills, and return him back to the driving business that he is doing. So you discover that some of these people have just little of such offenses. We're able to take care of them. By the time they come out, some we have records of people like I've just mentioned here. We put up a mechanism, monitoring mechanism, where we follow up with them. We have a particular lady in Lagos, Krikri prison. She took in, she was staying with the auntie, and she took in, and the auntie pursued her from the house. A neighbor took her in, but on the day of delivery, she absconded after putting to bed and ran away, leaving the bills behind. The woman was arrested. By the time she was arrested, she was sentenced to Kirikiri prison. Her daughter was taken away from her. When we got there, we paid the fine, settled all of those bills, and brought her out. What do we need to do afterwards? We had to establish her in a little thing she's doing, get money, get rent for her. But we are in the process of reuniting her with her child because the Lagos state government have to take the child away from her.
So, well, it's quite unusual to go all out for offenders, and what you're doing. It has to be a divine call for you to be able to go full all out to execute what you're doing. Now, I want you to. What are your likely challenges, and how do you overcome them?
Well, our foundation is gifted with people of like mind who key into the vision of the executive director, Sarah Abdul. But the most challenge has always been funding because the demands are very high. Because of the pressing needs today, the humanitarian crisis, hunger and food crisis, we don't usually have enough. For instance, we have to enroll over 100 and something students in the ongoing WAEC, external WAEC, but the money to do all of that will not be there. So funding has always been a challenge. So far, whatever we do is from the pocket of the executive director and friends and well-wishers that always contribute to give to her. So funding has always been the major challenge.
That is why I say it is a divine call for you to be able to carry out all of this. Now, talking about partnership, give an understanding of effort to partner government and with other people to be able to help you out carry out your duty.
Well, the truth is that no government in the world can do it alone.
Yes.
You cannot be able to ameliorate poverty as government or provide jobs for people just by government alone. People have to stand in and do in the little areas of their strength they can. I think for us, we have identified this area as one critical area where we will partner government, assist government to do. For us, it has even gone beyond the prison services, which originally is our core mandate. Where we look at the humanitarian crisis happening today, scarcity and hunger crisis, we go all out to also take care of widows, indigent students, orphans, and all of that. So I believe that well-meaning Nigerians, not who have so much, the little you have, you could share with the next door neighbor. For us, our passion is to ensure crime is minimized. And to do that, we have to look at what are some of the things fueling crimes. Unemployment, what are some of the things fueling crimes? Food and hunger crisis. So by the time we have a little, we share with our neighbors. It's helped to minimize the factors that warrant crime in the society. So my call to people all over the world, especially Nigerians who are well-to-do, take time out. If you cannot do directly, you can locate someone who have the passion and the time to do this. You call it the calling to do this. So let them come in and partner organizations who have this mandate and who have found time to do this. By doing so, I think government's job will be lessened.
Thank you so much for your time with us
Thank
this
you,
morning
madam.
and for what you're doing. We want to encourage you in our own little way that the sky is just your starting point and
Thank
you'll
you very
get
much,
there.
madam.
We appreciate your time with us this morning.
Thank you very much,
All
madam.
right.
Thank you, viewers.
Okay, we have been talking about humanitarian intervention and this organization are doing so well, talking about inmate rehabilitation. We've been talking with Shedrack Oka, who is a humanitarian and also a director of programs, Shamis Unusual Heart Foundation. And together, he made an appeal and he made a call that from your little space, you can share what you have with one another so that we can make this life worth living for all of us. The program is Good Morning Abuja. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we have more for you. Stay with us, please. Welcome back from the break, and it's good to know you have rejoined us again on the program Good Morning Abuja, showing only on the Unity Station NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Now we know that poverty reduction is not all about giving assistance, providing help, giving of aid, but it is about creating opportunity. This morning we have another guest with us, and together we'll be looking at poverty reduction strategies for poverty reduction and economic empowerment. And I have a public affairs analyst with me this morning. Help me welcome Dr. Philip Nwachukwu to the program. Doctor, you are welcome to the
Thank you,
program.
madam. Always a
Good
pleasure.
to see you again
Always a
on our
pleasure.
show.
Thank you very much. My
Okay.
pleasure.
All right. This morning we want to talk about strategies, the key strategies we can use to reduce poverty and probably talk about empowerment. So when we talk about concept of strategy to reduce poverty, what are we really talking about?
Okay, by the strategy to reduce poverty steps that needs to be taken holistically, both by the government and also in partnership with people or corporate bodies and individuals and well-intentioned people or communities to see how the lower rung of the society can be empowered by either skill acquisition, by monetary empowerment, like funding, uh, through organized corporate means of sustainable means of funding such groups, and training, education, vocational skills, all whatnot. It's a total gamut of how to teach people how to fish and also empower them with the nets to fish.
Yeah.
So that they be,
very necessary.
yes, not just to give them fish,
Yeah.
like you mentioned before, these palliatives that come from time to time, just like giving somebody bread, you eat that day and the next day is hungry. That cannot alleviate poverty. The sustainable way to alleviate poverty is to empower the people, teach them, organize them into cooperative groups, and on skill acquisition, and also facilitating what they will need to do, so that they can actually help themselves through production, through trade, through using the knowledge or the skill they've acquired in terms of trying to use it to maybe market what they have produced to the society and make an income that can help them to grow and get out of poverty.
That's a very good one, sir. And talking about training that you referred to, it is often said that government cannot do it all alone. But our part, we have to, encourage ourselves and become intentional about what comes to us. Talking about our income now, how can entrepreneurship training and support programs promote economic empowerment?
Okay, by way of entrepreneurship, we are talking about somebody getting to use his hand and his head, to train in a particular area or field and be able to get into doing such that will add value and get income from it. So it's expected for a society that will have those who are not literate, especially, or who have not learned one skill, and they need to be empowered through apprenticeship schemes to be able to teach the people what skill or the other, or even trade that they can help to know and nurture them over time and be able to give them direction for life. Because if there are no such trainings or mentorship or apprenticeship, as it were, in particular areas, and they are diverse. People can learn all manner of things, all manner of skills. They can learn for girls, they can learn how to make clothes, they can learn how to make hair, and they can learn how to make creams, soap, and all those kind of things that you can easily sell or easily sell your service and make an income for the boys. Also, learning different skills like carpentry.
Yes, talking about learning of skills, I think it should not be directed alone to the people that did not go to the four walls of education, even the literate.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, like School of Carpentry, for instance,
Okay,
School of Plumbing,
okay,
electrical schools, all these vocational schools or technical schools that we are having, we're supposed to actually make them to be practical,
practical.
where people can go there and learn those trades and get certified. There's one thing to learn a trade, another thing to be certified in that field, to become like an expert in that field where you are properly trained, where you are certified, your CV is boosted, and that can help you get jobs in maybe companies or corporate, even abroad. So I'll be able to do it better than somebody who just learned in a crude way. So, some advanced countries have gone ahead. Even here, I don't know why the issue of these technical colleges and technical schools are being downplayed. Because initially, uh, during the regional government, there were a lot of technical colleges where people just go there to learn some technical skills, and they were prepared for the society to go out and make an income for themselves, and they did it quite well.
Say poverty is a thing of the mind.
Yes, please.
This is an opportunity to sensitize and to talk to everyone, because we've always said that government cannot do it alone. How can we be able to fight this war, or the mentality that we can have the talent God has given to us? We can use the talent to build ourselves and even become an employer of labor.
Okay, these were mentorship programs, trainings, counseling, and information. Very, very key, communication. If you have a whole gamut of all these things and people using different avenues, for instance, community engagement, you can have in a community a group of people who have been empowered, who are like the elites of the society, can come together to think of what they can do to empower their individual communities. They can come together as a group, raise some capital, bring up people that can train people, for instance, in agriculture.
Yes.
And
That is my next question.
yes, in my community, it is happening.
Okay.
The elites have come up with what they call agricultural revolution program. ISAREP is equal to Elite Agricultural Revolution Program. And through that way, they are beginning to empower a lot of youths, a lot of farmers. People are going back to the farm because they are helping out in going to look for good varieties of seedlings. They made procurement of farm oil palm seedlings from the research institute that has them. Oil, coconuts, plantain, and cassava, good yielding varieties of such potatoes, Irish potatoes, and carrots. A lot of people are going into farming because there's land, but people don't have what to do with the land. And if there's good security, and there's cooperation and community empowerment
as well as partnership.
and partnerships.
Yes.
So you could see that you can synergize and put things together and get people who were not interested in farming. It's like an incentive for them to go back. You're empowering people, you give them targets. They have the lands, you supply the inputs, the fertilizer, the seedlings, the training. There are, like in those days when they used to have agric trainers that go to teach the people. They go around and tell them the farming methods they need to apply, when to do it, and how to get water to the area and things like that. And you see that the harvests are all coming. In some few years to come, you will see that blossom and empower those rural communities who will not need to be running to the city. So you see, through that way, you make the place, the income of the place to come up, and through that, they raise people out of poverty. And it goes across. You can also introduce other skills I've mentioned earlier, so stage by stage, agric, handwork, and vocational training.
Okay, as we round up this segment on the program, way forward in form of advice to youth and everyone, how we can come together to reduce this poverty, eradicate poverty.
You see, I believe that if you are poor, uh, either by circumstance of birth or your environment, you don't need to remain poor.
No.
You can actually work yourself out of poverty. Some people, by circumstance of where they came from, either their father was not capable or their father died early. There are some people that were determined who didn't go to primary school or who went partially to primary or who finished primary school, were decided that they will not remain there. So they made up their mind to find a way to get close to maybe library, work in the library, be able to study some books and all that, start taking exams. Some took GCE then and passed GCE, London GCE, had scholarships without secondary school.
Thank you so much for your time with us on the program and the key strategies, measures you have profiled to reducing poverty in the way of building our nation together. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, man. God bless you.
Yes, we have been talking about strategies to poverty reduction and economic empowerment, and our resource person this morning has told us a lot. He has advised us you can work yourself out of poverty. It is possible by circumstances you find yourself there, but you can actually work yourself out of poverty. And we've been talking to Dr. Philip Nwachukwu, a public affairs analyst. The program is still Good Morning Abuja. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we have more for you. Stay with us, please. Good to know you have rejoined us again on the program Good Morning Abuja, and it is coming to you from the Unity Station NTA Channel 5. Yes, our eyes are the window to the world. Hence, we need to take proper care of our eyes. Every 10th of October is celebrated as World Sight Day, and that is why we are here this morning to talk about the celebration as well as how we can take care of our eyes. And I have two gentlemen with me here in the studio to talk more on how we can take care of our eyes. Next to me is Dr. Ibenu Joshua, who is the program officer, Eye Health Sight Saver. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And next to Joshua is Dr. Njezi Chinedu. He is the chairman Optometric Association FCT chapter. You are also welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, it's good to have two of you on the set this morning to talk about the need to take care of our eyes. The advocacy has been on because today, being the 10th of October, we are celebrating World Sight Day. So we need to take care of our eyes. Let me start with you, Dr. Joshua. What are the essential steps we need for maintaining our eyes?
Once again, thank you very much
You're welcome.
for having me. I work for Sightsavers, and generally our vision is of a world where we prevent avoidable causes of blindness, and also a world where
people with disabilities have equal rights in the society and are able to participate effectively. So generally, we focus on preventing blindness and also making sure that our strategies are inclusive of persons with disability. So to your question particularly, some of the steps that we need to take to ensure that we have good eye health, and primarily, I will start with regular eye checkup, and we advocate for having your eyes checked at least once a year to ensure that everything is good and you have proper eye health. And there are also basic things that we ignore but are very, very good to protect our eyes. For example, the use of sunglasses, yes, to prevent the ultraviolet rays from hitting the eyes directly. Good nutrients, there are specific foods that are pleasant and have good effects on the eye, such as carrots that have good vitamin A and helps with to prevent night blindness. Your leafy greens, your vegetables, these are things that help to protect the eye. And what other things that I can say is, of course, if you're having secondary diseases like diabetes and hypertension, you have to have those things properly treated with medications, because these things have secondary effects on the eye. And of course, proper care of the eye. Wash your hands. Things like rubbing your eye. And these are things that really damage the eye, and they go unchecked. And since we are celebrating World Sight Day with a focus on children, ensuring that you have proper screen check. This whole watching TV 24 hours for children, having continuous exposure to screen time.
It is a generation for us right now.
Yes, exactly. You are jumping from the TV to your phone. Your lights are off in the night, but your phone screen is completely on.
Okay, let me go to Dr. Chinedu now to lend his voice because we are all here to talk about how we can take care of our eyes. Okay, let's take it up from for the theme for this year.
Okay, every year the International Agency for Prevention of Blindness brings out a theme. And over the years, we've had a rolling theme, which is Love Your Eyes. Last year, we had Love Your Eyes at Work. We
Okay.
focused attention on people who were in their workplaces, who went to industries, teaching them about how to protect their eyes. Like Dr. Joshua mentioned, wearing preventive sunglasses is actually a good eye care tip. However, this year is the attention is on kids. Love your eyes, kids. Why is it important? He mentioned something about disability. Children are they are vulnerable. Some of them cannot afford eye care. They cannot walk to the eye care practitioner by themselves. So they need first of all to transmit the information to the teacher or to the parents. What happens when the teacher is ignorant? What happens when the parent does not believe that the child even has an eye care problem? So what we are doing this year is to shine the light to this wonderful group of individuals, the kids. We'll go to schools, we'll give them consent forms to take to their parents so that they present themselves for eye screening. When that is done, we are able to find out if some of these children who might not be doing well in school actually have an eye problem. Because the vision is actually 80% of a child's vision, learning, sorry, is via vision. So a child who doesn't have good vision will not do well in class. That's why the attention is on kids. And I wish even next year will be on kids because that's where the burden of refractive error, which is currently the one of the leading causes of reversible blindness. So that's why I am very particular and I like this year's theme.
Okay, before I come to Dr. Joshua, you just said something about how we can give education to the children. Now, at what point should will you know that what is happening to your child is an eye problem?
That's where the parents are going to stand in the gap and actually be part of the eye care team. Okay. Now, when your child, for instance, keeps rubbing his or her eyes, you already know there's an anomaly. When everybody, the family is watching TV, for instance, and the child keeps moving close to the television, you already know there's a problem with the child. If the child holds a smartphone and he brings it close to his eyes, you can already suspect that this child might be short-sighted. And to place emphasis on this, there's an epidemic of short-sightedness, especially in the East, northeastern Nigeria. Okay, so most Asian countries, you find children, preschool children even, coming down with short-sightedness. And it is coming down here because those technologies are transmitted here. We're using the gadgets. The child who is crying now does not need the mother to ring a special toy. Give them the phone and a song sings on YouTube and they are okay. So that's the challenge you have. And that is why it's important. Parents must help the doctors. Teachers must also help the doctors. In fact, the Nigerian Optometric Association, what we are doing in collaboration with a lot of groups, even Science Savers is part of the team, what we are doing is going to schools. We're not just talking to the children, we are sensitizing the teachers. We are giving them some form of education. When a child who sits at the back keeps saying, I can't see the ball, can I come to the front? Kindly know that this child might be having a refractive error. So what do you do? Notify the school nurse if the school health system is in place, or notify the parents, and they'll take it up from there.
Oh, thank you so much. Let me come to Dr. Joshua now. Well, you were talking about lifestyle before we went to Dr. Chinedu. We want you to talk to us more on lifestyle and how we can take on prevention as well.
Okay, so like I said, and then adding of course to what he has said, eye care is something that can be done at the primary level and not necessarily, the target is not necessarily to have these interventions at the tertiary level. So the target is to have things that you can do at your home, at the primary healthcare centers, and little things like that. And I have to at this point blow the trumpet of the National Eye Health Program. We have come up with policies, strategies, and even training guidelines that can support eye care delivery at all levels of care, primary, secondary, and tertiary level. Because what we want is, like you said, for parents to be very observant at the preventive level, parents to be very observant of the changes that occur with regards to their children and even with adults. And then at the level of the school, the National Eye Health Program has a school eye health program, which helps to train teachers to be able to conduct basic eye screening for children and also to ensure that they are able to identify children that have visual impairments of any sort. Because I'm a program person, I've had contact with trainings for primary healthcare workers on basic eye care delivery. So we have done those trainings in Plateau, in Kogi, in Kaduna, to ensure that even at the primary level of care, primary healthcare workers are able to train to conduct basic eye care at their levels and then ensure that they carry out awareness and sensitization, because these are the people that have direct contacts with the communities. So by the time we approach it at this primary level, we're able to promote and to prevent eye health diseases instead of attacking it at a tertiary level where the damage is already done. So some of the other things that we can do, like we have mentioned, primarily, like I said, regular checkups for your eye. We had a social behavioral change program for persons with disability, and the message we're trying to pass is that you ensure that you have your eye checked once a year, because they are silent killers of the eye. They are diseases that you may have, and you will not know until the harm is done. And then before you know, there are no ways to go back. And one of the very big examples of what is glaucoma, which is one of the major causes of blindness only here in Nigeria.
Yes, silent
killer of sight.
Understand? So, but when you have this regular checkup, even simple things like visual acuity, just going there, facing the board and then reading, and then the doctor can tell you, okay, you have this, you have this. We can prevent avoidable causes of blindness. Yes, and when you prevent avoidable causes of blindness, you tackle over 90% of the causes of basic visual impairments. So these are some of the things that.
Okay, you are basically on the field because you're a programs officer. You take your awareness to the rural area.
Yes, we do.
How has been the reception?
So first of all, Sight Savers, our mission is to support sub-Saharan or tropical countries, third world nations, to ensure that avoidable causes of blindness is prevented. So what we do is we support the system. We don't work in isolation. So at the national level, we work strongly with the National Eye Health Program. At state level, we work with the State Ministry of Health, and we also work with strong stakeholders for eye health, like the Optometric Association, the Ophthalmic Society of Nigeria, and other key players, even among the disability communities. So when you go to the states, you don't see Sight Savers workers all around the place. What you see is strong collaboration, and we do that because we believe that those are the sustainable ways of getting things done. Because when you have somebody like me who works directly for a development organization implementing, what happens when I leave? But the government of the people is always there.
Okay.
So what we do is we have that intervention with the government. So, like for example, in Plateau State, where we implement some of our programs, we work strongly with the Primary Healthcare Development Board. They have health educators who are trained to carry this information. We work strongly with the National Orientation Agency. So these are the people that help us to carry this information. And because the community is aware of who these people are, because they have been carrying all the health education. So we plug into the system. Yes. And because we do that, we have strong and good reception.
Wow. It's a very good one. Let's quickly go on this break. When we come back, I'll now bring the next question to you, Dr. Chinedu. Yes, we have been talking about care for the eye as we celebrate World Sight Day today. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we will still be discussing care for the eye. Welcome back. And if you've just tuned in, the program is still Good Morning Abuja. Dr. Chinedu, before we went on that break, he was talking about training. And now, today we are celebrating World Sight Day. Can you tell us what you're doing from your end and the programs lined up for today?
Okay, for today, we have a walk for sight, which basically will commence from Area 1 roundabout and terminate at UTC Area 10. The aim of that program, like I said earlier, is to create awareness. So we share flyers, there will be banners, and there will be key stakeholders in the eye care industry ready to talk to you and give you on-the-spot advice, okay? And we also have a list of eye clinics where people can access free eye tests just for today, free eye screening. However, because the focus is on children, kids, we are terminating at the school, GSS Gariki, where we have a vision corridor, and we have already interacted with teachers. We've trained them, like he said, on how to do basic screening exercise. Now, a vision corridor is basically like the name sounds, a vision corridor is on the wall. It's a small visual acuity test where you can even assess yourself.
That is the next question. How can you assess yourself?
You can assess yourself. Okay. The instructions are there. Close one eye, stand at 20 feet and read. If you are not able to read beyond the red line, kindly notify the teacher or your parents. That is the basic instruction on the vision corridor. And even teachers have also been trained to be able to screen out students, even in the class. Some students who write, instead of writing on the line, they write and their writing goes across the line. That could be a sign or symptom of astigmatism. So when they notice these things, they can call the attention of the parents or the school health nurse who will take it up from there. But the main thing is that we have given the enlightenment and we have given support. And the Nigerian Optometry Association, we're not doing this because we are heavily endowed. We have funding from a lot of NGOs. We have collaboration. Everybody's working together. We're working with the Public Health Department of the FCTA because we are domiciled here. So there's a lot going on.
Yes. Well, that's a very good one. You know, when we are, Dr. Joshua, when we talk about care for the eye, we cannot stop talking. We can't keep quiet when it comes to our eyes, because imagine you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is to open your eyes. You open your eyes and the vision is not there. Yes. We talked about areas you can go for screening, free screening today. Can you avail us some of the information?
So, like I said, because we support the system, the people who are championing most of this screening from our end is the National Eye Health Program. Yes, so I'm aware that the National Eye Health Program is currently conducting a screening. I think it's the GSS Kubwa, yes, at the school. And we also have some other activities lined up for the week where we have stakeholders come together to discuss, because it is not just service delivery, also policies and strategies that will create a friendly environment for eye care is also at the top of our priorities. So we have other stakeholder meetings in the coming days, tomorrow and next tomorrow. But principally, we as partners support the federal government, and I have to say that we have enjoyed strong reception from the government, from the National Eye Health Program, of course. And as they do it, we form the backbone that forms strong collaboration.
Talking about where you can go for free screening, if you can add to what.
Yes, to throw more light on what he said. Yes, we have GSS Kubwa. So JSS Kubwa, that's a school screening. They will have GSS Bazango also in Kubwa. They will have GSS Gariki. Okay, this is in Gariki. However, because these are school screenings, yes, the public may it may be open to the public. Okay, but the attention might be on kids. However, just for today, you can walk into any government-owned facility and ask for the optometrist there, and you get your eyes screened without at no charge. Any government and private facility.
Is it free?
Yes,
it is
yes,
free.
the screening is free. Yes, it's important we make that clear. Just for today, we are celebrating Love Sight Day and World Sight Day, sorry, and it is Love Your Eyes Kids. However, if you walk into any of these facilities, ask for the optometrist there, you get your eyes screened for free. And in most of these facilities, you also see a banner showing that we are celebrating World Sight Day.
Okay. Quickly before we go, because they are giving us sign already, your final word, Dr. Joshua.
Okay, my final word would be get your eyes checked. Like the team for What Side Day says, love your eyes, children, and I also add love your eyes, adults. Your eyes checked once a year. Very important. We don't want to talk about other things like the economical burdens of blindness. There's so many things that blindness can do, and there are so many things that having avoidable preventions for blindness would profit us as a nation.
Yes. Dr. Chinedu, your final word.
There's something we say in the optometry parlance, and that is see your eye doctor when you can still see. Wow. Don't wait till you are blind before you go to the eye clinic.
Wow.
Thank
See your eye doctor when you can still see. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on our show. Dr. Jesse Chinedu, also Dr. Ibenu Joshua, for talking to us on how we can take advantage of today, leverage on what we are doing today to go do some free eye check. And we'll take it up from there. We appreciate your time with us on the show this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, we have been talking about the care for our eyes as we celebrate World Sight Day today. Please take advantage of the programs lined up for today and go get your eyes screened if there's a need for surgery, because it is good you visit your doctor while you are seeing now, according to Dr. Chinedu. Well, the program is Good Morning Abuja. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we'll still be here for you and we'll bring you more on the show. Don't go anywhere.